Hi y'all, it's Jenny with Gulf Coast Inspired. Today I want to talk a little bit about one of the struggles I'm having right now in my life. I'm getting close to retirement and I want to start drawing my Social Security probably at the end of this school year or the beginning of the next school year. And one of the things I want to make sure of is that I'll be able to afford a place to live. I currently live in the home that was left to me by my parents. It does have a small mortgage on it. It was a small mortgage. My insurance has gone up tremendously in the last year due to the house needing repairs. That's one of the problems with staying here. Another problem with staying here is now that my parents are gone, my father used to take care of the property. It's about 2 acres. I had an additional 2 acres, so that was 4 altogether, but I recently sold 2 of the acres to help when I nearly went broke. But anyway, I have, it's a 3-bedroom, 2-bath house, brick, and 2 acres. And the house was built in 1994, so it's getting to the point that a lot of the systems are starting to need major repairs. The roof is good, but some of the soffits around and the little stoop off the back need to be replaced. I've had some issues with plumbing, and our little blizzard last January, I don't know, it was a once in a lifetime thing, but I was not aware that it had created a small leak in my kitchen that went unrepaired for months, causing a lot of floor rot. And when we started tearing out the floors recently to fix that, it came to my attention that I've had termites. So it's just been kind of a compounding thing. So I'm asking myself, can I keep up with it all? I obviously can't do all the work myself. I'm just not that handy. And I broke my hand, and I had several bones, and my wrist broke last March when I fell. So I'm not as handy even as I used to be. So I either have to have somebody help me or hire somebody. Same thing with the yard. 2 acres is a lot to keep up with. So I'm running down, in my mind, should I just sell it all and move somewhere else? Well, I know that I enjoyed living in an apartment when I lost my job and went to Gulfport for 7 months. But I also know that I enjoyed it because it was temporary. I don't think I want to rent an apartment for the rest of my life. I like being able to put a hole in the wall and put a picture up anywhere I want to. I'm a little independent that way. I also like having a cushion around me. I'm a very introverted person, and I was living in an old carriage house, so I had a neighbor below me, and then when I looked out any window in my house, there were neighbors staring back at me, and that was a little claustrophobic for me. So I really like having the 2 acres. So my plan right now is to just go ahead and really think about, can I age in place in this house? Can I afford to do the repairs? Will I be able to keep up with the yard? And at the moment, I'm thinking the answer to that is probably yes. I don't have to keep up the whole yard. I can just make an area right around the house to keep up, with the lawn care and things like that. The back acre, I can fence it in and maybe throw a couple of nanny goats in there with a miniature donkey or something to keep the coyotes away. Or just let it grow back natural and, have it as a bird sanctuary. Land is not going anywhere, and if trees and things grow up on it, I'm not around an HOA. There is a trailer park kind of diagonal to me. My son that was injured, he lives next door, and he has about 2 acres, but I can't expect him to he can't even keep up with his own property right now because of his injuries. So I'm surrounded by other relatives and cousins and neighbors that I've known my whole life. So I enjoy the neighborhood. I enjoy being close to the church that I attend. So I don't really want to move. I just want to find a way to make where I'm at work. And so I'm considering a lot of different options. I can do kind of a pay-as-I-go to do the repairs. I could refinance the house to do the repairs. I'm even looking at doing a reverse mortgage. And I know a lot of people are against that, but in my situation, it would be beneficial. I don't expect to leave anything to my sons anyway because the house already has a mortgage on it, so I would be refinancing that and then adding to it. And when I pass, whether it's a traditional mortgage or a reverse mortgage, they're going to have to sell the house and divide the equity between them anyway. So the reverse mortgage really wouldn't affect that. And it would take some of the pressure off of me on those months when things get really tight. I wouldn't have to pay a mortgage payment. I wouldn't have to pay any mortgage payment. And as far as keeping up with the insurance and the property taxes, which is a requirement, that's a requirement whether it's a reverse mortgage or a regular mortgage. So that doesn't really figure into it. So I've got a lot of decisions to make, but bottom line is I have to know what I can live with. And maybe eventually down the road, I'll find myself in an assisted living somewhere. And at that point, the house would be sold and whatever equity would go toward that. But that's hopefully not in my near future. Fortunately, neither one of my parents had to go into a nursing home. That was one of the reasons why I retired from teaching at 48 to begin with the first time. And I was able to be home full time to take care of them in the last year of their lives. They died within a year of each other. But anyway, what do y'all think? What are your plans for when you get to this stage in your life, especially if you're living alone? Are you going to stay where you're at? Are you going to sell and what they call downsize? I can tell you just from the little bit of moving I had to do to go live over in Gulfport and then come back home. Moving is not fun. It's very stressful. And if I was to downsize, I would have to get rid of a whole lot more stuff because I have a house with 3 generations of stuff in it and a 14 by 40 barn that's almost as full as the house. So any way you slice it, there's going to be some challenges. And I think right now the challenge I'm most willing to take on is the challenge of getting this house back into good shape. And that way I'll have options if down the road I do decide that I want to live somewhere else. I'll get more for my house with it being in good shape. In the meantime, I can reduce my home insurance rate because I'll have the needed repairs done. There's just a lot of benefits to it. The trick is to be able to get the financing. And I think with the reverse mortgage, they don't look into your credit quite as much. So it might be beneficial for me because I do not have the best credit with everything that happened in the last few years. Anyway, those are my thoughts for today. What is your take on it? And if you're a hater against reverse mortgages, you don't have to yell at me, okay? I get it. Everybody has their own opinion. If you have a nightmare about it and you think it would be helpful, I'll listen to that. But other than that, just be nice. I hope y'all enjoyed listening to my rambling about my thoughts and all. This is a big decision for me. It's really hard. This is one of the times when I do feel pretty much alone. I don't have anybody really to run it by. I have a brother, but he's got a lot of issues of his own. My sons, for various reasons, they can't really give me any advice or help. They're managing their own issues. And my grandsons just aren't old enough yet. My oldest grandson's only 20. So I'm having to make this decision on my own. And so I'm doing a lot of research and putting a lot of thought into it before I jump to anything. If y'all like these videos, feel free to subscribe. I also have GulfCoastInspired.com. It's my website. I sell my books on there. I will be soon coming out with a Smart Woman's Guide to Aging Alone, where I share what I'm learning as I go through problem solving what's next in my life. Y'all take care, and I'll see you in the next video.